Captain Tae-ho Kim sat straight in his chair. The metal walls of the meeting room on Galactic Command's main station felt cold and unwelcoming. 3 high-ranking officers stared at him from across the table. "This is a joke, right?" Tae-ho asked. The file on his tablet showed a picture of an ordinary orange cat with bright green eyes. General Han shook his head. "I wish it was, Captain. The Vorn are dead serious." Tae-ho had been on many missions before. He had fought space pirates near Saturn. He had saved hostages from rebel bases on Mars. But this was new. "You want me to kill a house cat? This doesn't make sense." Tae-ho looked at the cat's picture again. It seemed completely normal, lounging in a patch of sunlight. Colonel Min pushed a folder across the table. "The Vorn will not join the Galactic Alliance unless this specific cat is eliminated. They call it the Observer and claim it threatens their entire species. How can a cat be a threat to an advanced alien race?" Tae-ho asked. "It probably isn't," said Admiral Song, the oldest officer present. "Most likely, it's some cultural superstition. The Vorn have strange beliefs about Earth animals, but their technology is far beyond ours, and we need this alliance." Tae-ho flipped through the folder. The cat lived with Dr. Jae-yum Park, a retired scientist who studied alien biology. She was now 73 years old and lived alone with her pet on Harmony Station, a research outpost orbiting a distant star. "Why send me? Anyone could handle this." Tae-ho closed the folder, feeling uncomfortable with the whole mission. General Han leaned forward. "Because something doesn't add up. The Vorn are too insistent about this one animal. We need someone who can think fast if things go wrong. Your record shows you that person. What if Dr. Park refuses to give up her pet?" "She doesn't need to know the real mission," Colonel Min said. "Your cover is that you're a wildlife specialist checking on all Earth animals in space habitats. You'll find a moment when she's not watching." The thought made Tae-ho's stomach turn. He had killed in combat, but sneaking around an old woman to murder her pet felt wrong on every level. "This mission is classified at the highest level," Admiral Song added. "The public would not understand the diplomatic necessity. The future of Earth and the Galactic Alliance depends on this small task." Tae-ho looked at the cat's photo one more time. There was something in those green eyes, a kind of awareness that seemed unusual. He shook his head. Now he was getting as superstitious as the Vorn. "I'll leave tomorrow," he said finally. "But I want it noted that I object to this mission." "Noted," General Han said. "You have 3 days to complete the assignment. The Vorn delegation arrives at Harmony Station after that to verify completion before signing the treaty." As Tae-ho left the meeting room, Admiral Song caught up with him in the hallway. The old man looked troubled. "There's something else you should know," he said quietly. 3 other agents were sent for this same mission in the past month. None returned. "What happened to them?" Tae-ho asked, stopping in his tracks. "We don't know. They reported arriving at Harmony Station, and then all communication stopped." The Admiral handed him a small device. "Take this emergency beacon. If anything seems wrong, anything at all, activate it and get out." Tae-ho took the beacon, a chill running down his spine. Maybe there was more to this mission than a simple cat. "Good luck, Captain," said Admiral Song. "And remember, appearances can be deceiving, especially in space." As Tae-ho packed his bag that night, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was missing something important. Why would an advanced alien species fear a common house cat? And what happened to the other agents? Tomorrow, he would find out. Harmony Station hung like a silver wheel against the darkness of space. Tae-ho's small ship docked with a soft thud. He grabbed his bag and put on his fake smile. For the next few days, he was not Captain Tae-ho Kim, but Dr. Tae-ho Kim, wildlife specialist. The station was smaller than he expected. Only 50 people lived here, mostly scientists. The hallways were quiet and clean. Plants grew in small gardens, making the air fresh. Dr. Kim, a young man in a blue uniform, greeted him. "I'm Jun, the station assistant. "Dr. Park is waiting for you in her quarters." As they walked, Tai-ho looked for security cameras. There were few guards. This would make his job easier, but it also made him wonder why the other agents had failed. Dr. Park's quarters were in the old section of the station. The door opened to reveal a large room filled with plants, books, and strange scientific equipment. Sitting in a chair was a small, white-haired woman with bright eyes. "So you're the wildlife specialist," she said, not getting up. Her voice was strong for someone her age. "Funny. I didn't request one." Tai-ho smiled. "Regular checks are required on all Earth animals in space habitats. New rules from Galactic Command." Dr. Park stared at him for a long moment. "Is that so? Well, I only have one Earth animal here." She pointed to a cushion near the window. "And there he is." Tai-ho turned and saw the cat. It was orange with white paws, just like in the picture. But the picture hadn't captured the intensity of its green eyes. The cat sat perfectly still, watching him. "His name is Bomb," Dr. Park said. "It means spring in my language." "He seems healthy," Tai-ho said, approaching slowly. "Don't bother," Dr. Park laughed. "Bomb doesn't let strangers touch him." As if to prove her wrong, the cat suddenly stood, stretched, and walked directly to Tai-ho. It rubbed against his legs and purred. Dr. Park's eyebrows shot up. "Well, that's unusual. He must like you." Tai-ho bent down and carefully stroked the cat's back. It felt like a normal cat. Warm, soft, ordinary. What could possibly make the Vorn fear this creature? "You'll stay for dinner," Dr. Park said. It wasn't a question. "Jun will show you to your quarters. We eat at 7. Tai-ho's room was small but comfortable. As soon as the door closed, he began to search for hidden cameras or listening devices. He found none. Then he unpacked his bag, including a small black case containing a drug that would painlessly end the cat's life. He sat on the bed and sighed. The mission felt worse now that he had seen the cat and its elderly owner. But orders were orders. A soft sound made him turn. Somehow, the cat, Bomb, was in his room, sitting on the windowsill. The door was still closed. "How did you get in here?" Tai-ho asked. The cat just stared at him, blinking slowly. Tai-ho moved to touch it, but in the second he took his eyes off the cat to reach out, it vanished. He jumped up and checked the room. The cat was gone. The door was still closed, the vents too small for an animal to pass through. At dinner, Dr. Park served a simple meal of rice and vegetables. She asked about Earth and other planets Tai-ho had visited. She seemed especially interested in the Vorn. "They're joining the Galactic Alliance soon, I hear," she said casually. "That's right," Tai-ho replied, watching her face. "Interesting timing for your visit, then." Before Tai-ho could respond, he felt something brush against his leg. Bomb was under the table, purring. "He really does like you," Dr. Park said. "That's rare." Later, as Tai-ho prepared for bed, he noticed a data pad on his desk that hadn't been there before. On the screen was a single message. "Bomb chooses who stays and who goes, not the other way around." Tai-ho looked around the empty room. A chill ran down his spine. The cat was watching him from somewhere somehow, and it knew exactly why he had come. Tai-ho couldn't sleep. The message about Bomb choosing who stays and who goes kept running through his mind. At midnight, he got up. Now was a good time to search Dr. Park's lab while she slept. The hallways of Harmony Station were dim and quiet. Tai-ho moved silently, using his military training to avoid the Fumite staff. Dr. Park's lab was locked, but he had special tools to open it. Inside, the lab was neat and organized. Plants grew under special lights. Strange machines hummed softly. Tai-ho went to the main computer and inserted a small device that let him access the files. What happened to the other agents? He whispered to himself as he searched. The first files were boring. Research on plants and space bugs. Then he found a folder marked Whisker Protocol. Inside were hundreds of documents about cats. Project failed. Raid 1 report. Cats show no ability to transmit psychic data. Another file from 10 years later said, limited success. Subject B shows response to psychic stimuli. The most recent files were Dr. Park's private notes. Taiho's eyes widened as he read. Day 1208. Bomb has made contact with my mind for the third time. The connection grows stronger. Not just basic needs now, but complex ideas. The military was wrong to cancel the project. They didn't have the patience. Taiho scrolled through more files. The Whisker Protocol was a secret military project from 30 years ago. Scientists tried to use cats as psychic spies because their brains could be trained to receive and send thoughts. The military gave up, but Dr. Park kept working in secret. A soft thud made Taiho turn. Bomb sat on the desk next to the computer, watching him with those unnervingly intelligent green eyes. How do you keep appearing like that? Taiho asked. The cat blinked slowly, then jumped down and walked to a wall cabinet. He scratched at the door. Taiho hesitated, then opened it. Inside was an old box marked classified. The cat meowed and pawed at it. You want me to see this? Taiho felt silly talking to a cat, but after what he had read, maybe it wasn't so strange. The box contained old paper files about the first contact with the Vorn 15 years ago. According to the reports, the Vorn had requested all cats be removed from the first meeting room. They claimed allergies, but tests showed no biological reaction. One report, written by a junior officer, noted, the Vorn ambassador refused to enter the room until the station commander's cat was removed. The alien appeared extremely disturbed by the animal's presence. Taiho found more recent notes by Dr. Park. The Vorn fear is not superstition. Bomb can block their psychic field. When I hold him during Vorn transmissions, I feel nothing. Without him, their mental suggestions are strong. The Vorn don't want an alliance. They want control. A noise in the hallway made Taiho freeze. He quickly put everything back and hid behind a large plant. Dr. Park entered, wearing a nightgown and looking worried. Bomb, are you in here again? The cat meowed from the desk, as if nothing was strange about being in a locked lab at midnight. Dr. Park sighed. I know what you're doing, but is he ready for the truth? The Vorn will be here tomorrow, not the day after as they told Galactic Command. She picked up Bomb and stroked his head. If he fails, like the others. The cat made a strange chirping sound. Dr. Park nodded as if she understood. Fine, we'll do it your way. But I hope you're right about him. They left the lab. Taiho waited 5 minutes, then slipped out and returned to his room. On his bed lay another data pad. This message was longer. Tomorrow they come. Tomorrow you choose. Help us or help them. There are no other agents, Taiho. There is only you. Taiho stared at the message. How did the cat know his real name? And what choice was he supposed to make? Taiho woke to a loud alarm. Red lights flashed in his room. The station's speaker system crackled to life. Attention all personnel. Unscheduled ship approaching. Docking in 15 minutes. He jumped out of bed and dressed quickly. His military instincts told him this was the Vorn ship, arriving early just as Dr. Park had said. In the main hallway, people rushed around in confusion. Taiho spotted Jun, the station assistant. What's happening? Taiho asked. A Vorn diplomatic ship just appeared. They didn't send any message before coming. Jun looked worried. This isn't normal protocol. Taiho made his way to the docking area. He needed to see these aliens for himself. A crowd had gathered behind a safety line, watching as the airlock prepared to open. The Vorn ship had attached to the station smoothly. It was sleek and silver, much more advanced than human vessels. The station commander stood at the airlock with 2 security guards, looking nervous. With a hiss of air, the door opened. A human stepped out first, a tall man in a formal suit. Ambassador Doc Su Lee, whispered someone in the crowd, the human liaison to the Vorn. Behind him came 3 Vorn. They were tall and thin, with gray-blue skin that seemed to shimmer. Their eyes were large and completely black. They wore simple white robes that reached the floor. Ambassador Lee bowed to the station commander. Forgive our early arrival. The Vorn elders were eager to finalize our agreement. One of the Vorn stepped forward and spoke in perfect, but oddly flat English. We wish to confirm the elimination of the observer creature immediately. Tai-Ho felt a hand on his arm. It was Dr. Park, looking calm despite the chaos. Come with me, she whispered. Quickly, before they notice you. They slipped away from the crowd and into a side corridor. Dr. Park led him to a small observation room that overlooked the docking area. Through the one-way glass, they could see without being seen. Watch them carefully, Dr. Park said. See how they move. Always in sync. That's not natural coordination. They're connected psychically. Below, the Vorn were speaking with the station commander. Their movements were indeed eerily similar, like dancers following the same music. Where's Bomb? Tai-Ho asked. Safe, for now. Dr. Park's face was grim. But they can sense him on the station. That's why they came early. They felt his presence growing stronger. Ambassador Lee was pointing at a tablet, showing something to the station commander. The commander's face changed from confusion to blank acceptance. See that? Dr. Park said. Mental suggestion. The Vorn are pushing their will onto him. Why don't they do that to everyone? Tai-Ho asked. They can't influence too many minds at once. That's why they work through officials and ambassadors. And it's why they need cats gone before they can fully take control. Suddenly, one of the Vorn looked up directly at their observation window. Its black eyes seemed to stare right at Tai-Ho. The alien said something to its companions, then broke away from the group and headed toward the corridor. It sensed us, Dr. Park said, grabbing Tai-Ho's arm. We need to move. They hurried through the back hallways of the station. Tai-Ho could hear footsteps following them. In here, Dr. Park pulled him into a storage room and locked the door. They waited in silence. Footsteps approached, stopped outside the door, then continued past. That was close, Tai-Ho whispered. A soft voice spoke directly in his mind. Human, listen carefully. Tai-Ho spun around. A Vorn stood in the corner of the storage room, though the door was still locked. How? Projected image, not physically here. The Vorn's voice was in his head, not in the air. I am Seeker, truth keeper of my kind. My companions don't know I'm speaking to you. What do you want? Tai-Ho's hand moved to his weapon. To warn you, my leaders lie. The cats are not our enemies. They are our only equals, the only beings who can resist our control. That is why they must be eliminated before we take your world. The image of the Vorn flickered. They sense me. Remember, the cat is your only. The projection vanished. A second later, they heard a scream from somewhere in the station. Dr. Park's face went pale. They found him. The one who tried to warn you. They'll kill him for that. Tai-Ho's mind raced. The Vorn weren't here for an alliance. They were here for conquest. And somehow, one small cat stood in their way. Tai-Ho's head hurt. Ever since the Vorn called Seeker had spoken in his mind, a dull pain sat behind his eyes. He and Dr. Park had made it back to her quarters without being caught, but the station was now crawling with Vorn guards. They're searching for Bomb, Dr. Park said, looking through a small crack in her door. And for you. The ambassador has told everyone you're a dangerous spy. Where is Bomb? Tai-Ho asked, rubbing his temples. Dr. Park walked to what looked like a normal wall panel and pressed it in a special pattern. The panel slid open, revealing a small hidden room. Inside, on a cushion, sat Bomb, calmly washing his paws. He's been waiting for you, she said. Tai-Ho knelt before the cat. What am I supposed to do? I'm just one man against a ship of aliens who can control minds. Not just one man. Dr. Park sat on a chair nearby. It's time I told you everything. I wasn't just studying cats all these years. I was communicating with them. With all cats. In a way, yes. Earth's cats have a collective mind, a shared consciousness. They live individual lives, but they're all connected in ways we're only beginning to understand. Bomb is a focal point, a cat who can connect to the network more strongly than others. Tai-Ho looked at the ordinary-looking orange cat with new respect. Why haven't cats shown this ability before? They have. Throughout history, cats have guided and protected humans. Ancient Egyptians knew. That's why they treated cats as sacred. But over time, most humans forgot. The cats have been content to watch and occasionally help from the shadows. Until the Vorn came, Tai-Ho guessed. Dr. Park nodded. The Vorn are the first true threat to both our species. Cats can't fight them directly. They needed a human partner. That's where you come in. Suddenly, Tai-Ho's headache became intense. He fell to his knees, grabbing his head. What's happening to me? He gasped. Dr. Park put a hand on his shoulder. Bomb is connecting with you. Your mind is opening to the link. It's painful at first. Strange images flooded Tai-Ho's mind. He saw through different eyes, cat eyes, watching humans from high places, from under furniture, from ancient temples and modern homes. He saw the world from thousands of different angles, all at once. Then he saw the Vorn, but not as they appeared now. He saw them as they had been thousands of years ago, coming to Earth in their first attempt to take the planet. He watched through ancient cat eyes as they tried to control human minds, but failed because of the cat's protective presence. The pain subsided, replaced by a strange clarity. Tai-Ho could feel Bomb in his mind, not with words, but with images and feelings. The cats have been protecting us all this time, he whispered. The Vorn's first invasion failed because they couldn't control humans with cats around. Yes, Dr. Park said. Cats evolved alongside humans, developing their psychic abilities to counter any outside influence. It's a perfect symbiotic relationship. They shield our minds, we provide them safety and care. But why me? Why not one of the other agents? The cats choose their partners carefully. They need someone with the right mental structure, someone who can handle the connection without breaking. The others couldn't. Their minds rejected the link. Tai-Ho stood up, feeling stronger. What do we do now? The Vorn will tear this station apart looking for Bomb. We fight, Dr. Park said simply. You're not the same person you were yesterday. The link with Bomb has changed you. Try something. Tai-Ho focused on a cup sitting on the table across the room. In his mind, he imagined it moving. To his shock, the cup slid a few inches. That's impossible, he said. Not impossible. The link works both ways. Bomb shields your mind, but also enhances it. Together, you can do things neither could do alone. A loud bang on the door made them all jump. Dr. Park, open up. This is Ambassador Lee. We need to check your quarters for contraband animals. Tai-Ho looked at Bomb, who stared back calmly. In his mind, he felt a clear message. Asterisk, it begins no asterisk. Hide in the secret room, Tai-Ho whispered to Dr. Park. I'll handle this. Dr. Park nodded and slipped into the hidden space with Bomb. The wall panel closed behind them, looking perfectly normal again. Tai-Ho opened the door. Ambassador Lee stood there with two Vorn. Their black eyes seemed to look through him. Where is Dr. Park? Lee asked. His voice sounded strange, like he was reading words someone else had written. She went to the lab, Tai-Ho lied. I'm just checking her plants. One Vorn stepped forward. You lie. We sense her presence. And the observer creature. The Vorn raised a hand toward Tai-Ho's face. Immediately, Tai-Ho felt pressure in his mind, like someone trying to push through a door. Asterisk resist. I am with you. Asterisk Bomb's presence in his mind grew stronger. The Vorn's eyes widened. Impossible. You are shielded. Tai-Ho smiled. I have a new friend. Before the aliens could react, Tai-Ho slammed the door and locked it. They began pounding immediately. The wall panel slid open, and Dr. Park emerged with bomb. They'll break through soon. We need to reach the station's communication center. Why? To tell everyone the truth. About the Vorn, about the cats. It's our only chance. A crash came from the door as the Vorn began to break it down. This way, Dr. Park said, pressing another hidden panel that revealed a maintenance tunnel. The cats helped me prepare for this day. They crawled through the narrow tunnel, hearing the Vorn break into the room behind them. Bomb led the way, his eyes glowing slightly in the dark. How long have you known this would happen? Tai-Ho asked as they moved. The cats have been watching the Vorn for centuries, Dr. Park said. They knew another attempt would come. When I was young, a cat chose me, just as Bomb chose you. I'd spent my life preparing. They emerged in a quiet hallway near the station's center. Suddenly, Bomb stopped and hissed. Tai-Ho felt a warning flash in his mind. What is it? He whispered. Asterisk danger ahead asterisk. The thought wasn't words exactly, but he understood perfectly. Tai-Ho peeked around the corner. 6 Vorn guarded the communication center. Station staff stood nearby with blank expressions, clearly under alien control. We'll never get past them, Tai-Ho said. Dr. Park smiled. We don't need to. Not if we can reach the main computer from another terminal. They slipped into a small office. Dr. Park went straight to the computer and began typing. If I can access the emergency broadcast system, we can send a message to all human colonies at once. Has she worked? Tai-Ho's link with Bomb grew stronger. The cat jumped onto his lap, and suddenly a flood of information poured into his mind. He saw the complete history. The Vorn had once ruled many worlds through their mental powers. When they first came to Earth thousands of years ago, they expected an easy conquest. But Earth was the first planet they found with cats, the only species naturally resistant to their psychic control. The cats had evolved alongside humans, developing a special bond. Without knowing it, humans had lived under their protection for millennia. The Vorn had retreated, but never forgotten their defeat. Now, the Vorn were back with a new plan. Pretend to join the Galactic Alliance, then eliminate Earth's cats before taking control of human leaders. The entire alliance was already partly under their influence. Earth was the last major free world. I see it all now, Tai-Ho whispered. Why they wanted me to kill Bomb. He's not just any cat. He's a leader among them. A coordinator. Dr. Park nodded without looking away from the computer. The strongest psychic connection in generations. If the Vorn kill him, the cat's network would be weakened for years. Suddenly, alarms blared. A voice announced, "Warning, unauthorized ship detected. Vorn battle cruiser dropping out of hyperspace." Dr. Park's face went pale. We're out of time. They're bringing their main force. Tai-Ho looked at Bomb, who stared back with calm, knowing eyes. What do we do now? He asked both of them. Bomb's answer came clearly in his mind. Asterisk call the others asterisk. Call the others? What others? Tai-Ho asked, looking down at Bomb. The orange cat jumped from his lap to the desk. He placed a paw on Dr. Park's computer screen. Immediately, the screen changed, showing a map of Harmony Station. Dozens of small dots appeared throughout the map. What are those? Tai-Ho asked. Dr. Park smiled. Those are cats. Station pets. Did you think Bomb was the only cat here? Tai-Ho was surprised. I didn't see any others. Cats are good at hiding when they want to, Dr. Park said. There are 47 cats on this station. The Vorn don't know about most of them. Bomb looked at Tai-Ho. In his mind, Tai-Ho felt a question. The cat was asking for permission. Do it, Tai-Ho said. Call them. Bomb closed his eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, Tai-Ho felt the cat's mind expand. reaching out in all directions. It was like watching a star send out light. Across the station, cats woke from naps, looked up from meals, stopped playing with toys. They all felt Bomb's call. "Now we need to reach the station's core," Dr. Park said. "It's the most protected area, and it controls all systems. If we can get there, we can lock out the Vorn and send messages to Earth." They left the office carefully. The hallways were strangely empty. "They're gathering their forces," Taiho said. "They must know something's happening." As they turned a corner, they saw a station worker standing still, eyes blank. When he saw them, he shouted in a voice that wasn't his own. "There, the Cat Master and the traitor." From both ends of the hallway, Vorn soldiers appeared. They carried long staffs that glowed with blue energy. "Run." Taiho pulled Dr. Park through a side door. They ran through the station's residential area, where people lived. Most rooms were empty, their owners now controlled by the Vorn. The aliens followed closely behind. Taiho could hear their boots on the metal floors. "We'll never make it to the core," Dr. Park said, breathing hard. "There are too many of them." Suddenly, a small gray cat appeared in front of them. It meowed and ran down a side passage. "Follow it," Taiho said. The gray cat led them through parts of the station Taiho had never seen before. 2 more cats joined them, a black one and a white one. Then more appeared, running alongside them or watching from high shelves. "Bomb's network is working," Dr. Park said with wonder. "They're helping us." They reached a large door marked Station Core, authorized personnel only. It was locked, but as they approached, the control panel lit up green. The door opened by itself. "How?" Taiho asked. Dr. Park pointed to a small tabby cat sitting by the control panel. "Cats can do amazing things when they work together." They entered the core, a large round room filled with computers and control stations. Through the viewing window, they could see the Vorn battle cruiser approaching the station. It was huge, at least 10 times bigger than any human ship. The door locked behind them. Cats began to appear from air vents, maintenance tunnels, and hidden spots around the room. Soon, there were dozens of them, all types and colors. Bomb sat in the center, his eyes glowing slightly. "What now?" Taiho asked. Dr. Park went to the main control panel. "I'll try to send a warning to Earth. You and Bomb need to keep the Vorn out as long as possible." A hard bang came from the door. The Vorn were trying to break in. Taiho looked at the cats gathering around him. They all stared back, waiting. "I don't know what to do," he admitted. Bomb jumped onto his shoulders. Immediately, Taiho felt the cat's mind connect with his own, but this time it was different. Now he felt all the cats, their minds joining together like drops of water forming a river. Power surged through him. The headache was gone, replaced by a feeling of incredible strength. The door began to bend as the Vorn pounded it from outside. "They're breaking through," Dr. Park shouted. Taiho raised his hands. The cats moved in perfect unison, forming a circle around him. "Let them come," he said, his voice strangely calm. "We're ready." The door to the station core burst open. Ambassador Lee entered first, his eyes completely black now. Behind him came 6 Vorn soldiers, their staffs pointed at Taiho. "This ends now," Lee said in a voice that wasn't human anymore. "The observer creature will die." The lid Vorn raised its hand. A wave of mental force hit Taiho like a wall. But with all the cats connected to his mind, the attack felt weak, like rain against a shield. "You don't understand what you're fighting," Taiho said. "It's not just one cat. It's all of them. It always has been." Using the combined power of the cat network, Taiho pushed back. The Vorn stumbled, shocked that their mental attack had failed. At the control panel, Dr. Park worked quickly. "Almost there. Just need 30 more seconds to send the message." The Vorn soldiers fired their staffs. Blue energy shot toward Taiho, but before it hit, something amazing happened. The cats moved as one. jumping into the air. Their eyes all glowed, and the energy bolts froze in midair. Impossible, the lead Vorn cried. No species has this power. Through Bomb, Tai-Ho could feel the entire history of cats and humans. Thousands of years of living together, evolving together. The cats had always been there, silent guardians, keeping watch while humans built their civilizations. With a wave of his hand, Tai-Ho sent the energy bolts flying back at the Vorn. The aliens dived for cover. It's working, Dr. Park shouted. Message sent to Earth and all colonies. Everyone will know about the Vorn plan. On the main screen, the message played. Images of the Vorn attempting mind control, data about their weaknesses, and most importantly, the truth about cats as humanity's protectors. Across human space, people were seeing this message, and across human space, cats were watching with them, ready to help resist the Vorn. The lead Vorn hissed in anger. You have ruined centuries of planning. But this is not over. Our ship will destroy this station. No one will escape. On the viewing screen, they saw the Vorn battle cruiser powering up its weapons. Tai-Ho looked at Bomb. Can we stop that ship? Bomb blinked slowly. In Tai-Ho's mind came not words but understanding. The cats couldn't stop the ship directly, but together, they could do something else. Tai-Ho nodded. Everyone, gather close to me and the cats. Dr. Park rushed over. The cats formed a tight circle around the humans. The Vorn watched in confusion. What are you doing? Ambassador Lee demanded. Something you would never understand, Tai-Ho said. We're working together. The cats all pressed against Tai-Ho and Dr. Park. Bomb jumped onto Tai-Ho's shoulders, placing his paws on Tai-Ho's head. The connection between them grew blindingly strong. Outside, the Vorn ship fired. The station shook. Warning lights flashed. Station hull breach. 5 minutes to complete failure, the computer announced. But inside the core, something incredible was happening. The air around Tai-Ho, Dr. Park, and the cats began to shimmer and glow. No, the lead Vorn screamed, lunging forward. Too late. In a flash of golden light, Tai-Ho, Dr. Park, and all 47 cats vanished. They reappeared on Earth, in the main hall of Galactic Command. Generals and officials jumped back in shock as the group materialized before them. How did we get here? Tai-Ho asked, amazed. Dr. Park laughed. Cats have always known how to get exactly where they want to be. We just never knew how they did it. Bomb sat calmly in the middle of the room, washing his paw as if teleporting across space was nothing special. Within hours, Earth's defenses were mobilized. The warning spread quickly. Every home with a cat was now a fortress against Vorn influence. The invasion had failed before it truly began. 1 week later, Tai-Ho stood before the Earth Council. Dr. Park and Bomb were beside him. The cats have always been more than pets, he told the assembled leaders. They've been partners, guardians, friends. Today, we make it official. Bomb purred as Dr. Park lifted him onto the table. This marks a new chapter in our history, Tai-Ho continued. Not as master and pet, but as two species working together. The Vorn never understood this. They saw only control, never cooperation. That was their mistake. As he spoke, cats across Earth sat a little taller, watched a little more openly. Their secret was finally out, and they were perfectly fine with that.